The Christian Family Movement, CFM, is an international movement of families called to witness to Christ, to be evangelized and to evangelize families and communities through its family and life programs. Established in 1956, CFM Philippines is the first and oldest family life organization in the Philippines. It is under the guidance of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines (CBCP), through the Episcopal Commission on the Family Life (ECFL) and Episcopal Commission on the Laity (ECL). It is a member of the International Confederation of Christian Family Movements (ICCFM). CFM is parish-based and participates fully, not only in family and life programs but in other activities of the parish. CFM's vision is to build a community of evangelized families witnessing to Christ, sanctified by the Spirit in building the Father's kingdom. On its 61st year, CFM Philippines looks back with gratitude to people of faith from different places during different periods of time. Their unique ideas led to the beginning of Catholic action and the founding of family movement throughout the world. It all began with Father Joseph Cardin of Belgium, whose motive in life was to help the working youth and the working class. After seeing the poor working conditions in the factories during the industrial age in Europe, he studied the social teachings of the Church. He acted by forming small groups or cells of workers and instructed them to observe what was happening in their workplace. Judge what were they seeing in the light of Christ's teaching. Act, what are they do to make their situation better. Observe, Judge, Act. OYA became an effective formation tool for small groups on a like-to-like apostolate with members of the same age, gender and occupation. During a national convention in 1950, the name Christian Family Movement was adopted. 3 conditions were agreed upon. The membership should be by couples, for happier families, will be the initial book, and OYA process will be used in succeeding inquiry books. From factory workers and students, the OYA was applied to the area of family life with the blessings of Father Joseph Cardin. CFM Philippines is established in 1956. It is the first and oldest family life organization in the country. On February 8, 1956, with the help of Tony and Teresa Nieva and the blessings of Archbishop Rufino Santos, D.D., the CFM USA presidents Pat and Patty Crowley planted the seeds of CFM in the Philippines. After several months of recruitment for membership and evenings of orientation, the first unit was organized by Tony and Teresa Nieva at Forbes Park, Makati sometime in September, 1956. In 1969, couples Cito and Sony Season and Tony and Teresita Nieva organized the first marriage encounter in the Philippines with Father Tancico as spiritual director. Since then, CFM has grown into one of the most vibrant and impactful church-based organizations in the Philippines. Here are some of the families, intercommunication, relationships, experience and services encounter programs of CFM. Family Encounter, Self-Encounter, Priest Encounter, Eucharist Encounter, Sons and Daughters Encounter and Marriage Encounter. CFM also offers other programs such as Solo Parents Encounter, Pre-Cana Seminar, Young Adults Programs, Self-Awareness, Family Covenant, Family Life Awareness, Marriage Enrichment, Spirituality of Stewardship, Enhancing Emotional Intelligence for Improved Interpersonal Relationships, Self-Encounter Weekend, Child and Youth Development, Solo Parents and many more. The CFM in Barangay Kapitolyo was established in January 1967 by couple engineer and Mrs. Jesus Delfin, then an active couple of CFM I St. Francis Church and residents of Barrio Kapitolyo. The Delfin couple invited Atty and Mrs. Francisco Catrol, during a party held at the residence of Major Dave and Nina David at Santa Maria Street, to join the movement and eventually organize CFM Unit 2 in the barrio. In a short time, the 5 couples led by attorney and Mrs. Francisco and Trell Catrol, were engineer and Mrs. Agapito and Lily Baroma, Rafael and Pacencia Jaime, Delfin and Lilia Lagarda and Colonel and Mrs. Simeon and Nancy Ventura shared the good message of the movement, and thus CFM Unit 2 was formed. In the morning of New Year's Days, January 1, 1968, while the CFM-MERS neighbors, the Baroma, Manhun, Lagarda, Jamie and Catrol, were clearing their front yard of unexploded firecrackers, they talked about building a church for the community. In January 11, 1968, a meeting was held at the Madrid restaurant attended by Attorney Ramirez and representatives from CFM2 purposely to formalize the plan of building a chapel. On January 18, 1968, the Articles of Incorporation was prepared and formalized by Attorney Frank Cattrall. And after several suggestions concerning the name of the chapel, the proposal of Atto Valdez and Ched Gaudete was carried out. Thus the name Holy Family Chapel. After the incorporation, engineers Agapito Baroma, Jess Delfin and Serafin Olaso put together the plans and submitted a perspective of the proposed Holy Family Chapel and was approved by Attorney Ramirez of the Ortigas and Company. The building of the chapel caught everyone like a fever from then on. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon of February 4, 1968, the groundbreaking and cornerstone laying of the Holy Family Chapel took place. This was an event everyone from the barrio was waiting for because this was the reality of their dream that the community will be united under one roof, under one love and under the guidance of the Almighty. At this time, the CFM initiative was reinforced by the participation of other groups and individuals within the community. That new personages added vigor to the pool of talent and resources for the project between the years 1970 and 1972. In March 2, 1975, His Eminence Jaime Cardinal Sin said Mass in the chapel. In this occasion the request to convert the chapel to a parish church was brought up to the Cardinal's attention through the representation of engineer Serafin Olaso and wife Sol. There were many more who lent valuable time, skill and talent, and material resources to help build the church but whose names are now all cast a dim memory of the past. Suffice to say that none of their noble deeds went to naught in helping make the dream to build a church in the community a reality. The church was completed in 1975. The CFM-MERS legacy to Barangay Kapitolyo is deeply embedded in the long and ardent history of the church. From its humble beginning as a chapel in 1968, it became a church in 1975, and the church we know today in its new splendor was built through the efforts of CFM-MERS Ferdy Fuentes, Piping Mabanta, and then Parish Pastoral Council President Mel Sampson under the watch of then parish priest Father George Belliozelio. In 2005, at the installation of Den and Baby Samara as couple leaders of the CFM, Brother Den suffered a rare case of what doctors call as global amnesia. He had a mild stroke which, in turn triggered his memory loss. Despite his condition, couples Den and Baby continued to hold CFM meetings in the intervening months before he, together with his wife Baby and son Gino, left for the US in November 2006 for further medical observation and for the much-needed rest. Before he left, he sought help for his replacement. But like it was written in the Bible, the parish was swept by some spiritual dryness. The CFM activities ceased upon his absence. The spiritual drought of CFM in the parish persisted until middle of 2017. Until one fine day in 2016, a new parish priest was installed in the name of Father Roy Rosales, who was the driving force in reviving the CFM movement as he himself comes from a CFM family. Thus on September 14, 2017, CFM Holy Family Parish breathed a new life. The newly formed unit is composed of the old and new members of the Holy Family Parish community. Pioneers such as Sister Jo Dumlao, Peeping and Bella Mabanta, Phil and Monette Guba, Dan and Baby Samara guided the new members towards a life of prayer, service and commitment. The learnings, testimonials and the camaraderie have definitely reignited and rekindled the true CFM spirit of yesteryears. The next generation of members are challenged to carry out the mission and vision of CFM, building a community of evangelized families witnessing to Christ, sanctified by the Spirit in building the Father's kingdom. Shout out to all the couples and families of CFM Holy Family Parish.
Oblivious of the wind and rain, when faith and hope and love we have to bring our families close to God. We are disciples of our Lord. We spread the gospel everywhere. We live according to His word. Beneath the CFM banner, come night, come day, we wend away. Oblivious of the wind and rain. When things get rough, to Him we pray for faith and soothing of the pain. We love our neighbors and our Lord. The way we live we'll serve and judge. In faith and hope and love we have to bring our families close to God. The Christian family movement and nations happier family. We do believe it's truly heaven sent a means for us to attain world peace. We love our neighbors and our Lord. The way we live we'll serve and judge. In faith and hope and love we have to bring our families close to God. The Christian family movement.
Come join us and experience a spiritually fulfilled, loving and happy family life in our community.